And low gas prices in 2020 plus the exploding pandemic made many Americans restless and hungry for new adventures. And so some of them hit the road, living essentially in a home on wheels and embracing a nomadic lifestyle that's come to be known as van life. But these people are now facing a new reality. Hundreds of dollars to fuel up their van, their bus, their RVs. Alex and Frankie McCullough are van lifers. They're living on the road and sharing their experiences and expertise on YouTube and social media. Great to see both of you from inside of your van, it looks like there. Let's first share a clip from your YouTube channel. Let's take a look.
Fuel is one of the most expensive parts of van life. So with the prices rising, is van life over?
Pros and cons of coming to the cheapest gas station in town.
We're sharing our tips to save money and asking fellow van lifers, what are you gonna do now that the price of gas is so high?
It's a good question. Alex, first off, what advice are you sharing with fellow or prospective van lifers?
So definitely one of the most important things to consider if you're just buying a van is how many miles per gallon you get. If you're looking at getting a giant 30-foot school bus, you're really going to feel it at the pumps. But if you pick something a little bit smaller, a little bit sportier, still home size, you'll definitely make out better at the pumps.
Sure. And Frankie, tell me a little bit about how the record high gas prices have impacted you all's life.
So I think that we travel just a little bit slower now. We try to stay at places and really just make sure that we know exactly where we're going to go on our route. That way we could calculate exactly how much money we need for fuel.
Yeah, and it really has. I mean, you know, if you started in 2020, the gas prices, Camila Bernal just going over some 40% higher, that has to be such an impact, such a change for you guys.
Yeah, when we first left, we were paying about $2 and change per gallon. And now, you know, we were just traveling in California where prices were almost at $7. It definitely hurts. It's funny because we'll go back and watch some of our old videos where we were complaining about prices over $3, and now we're jumping for joy if we see that.
Right, a lot of perspective there. Frankie, by most accounts, the gas prices are likely to go higher. Do you think that's going to shrink the number of people choosing to live the van life?
I don't think it's going to shrink the number, and the reason why that is because when you get into van life or into this lifestyle, we are saving a lot of money on rent. So we are not paying the amount of money that a normal person would pay for rent, which then that could be your budget for fuel.
Yeah. And do you think it's still going to be a lifestyle 20, 30 years from now, even 5 or 10 years from now? Or do you think this was kind of a reaction to this extraordinary moment in time?
Well, I think it was a lifestyle before COVID hit. We were definitely already on the road when that happened. And everybody that we've talked to loves the lifestyle. Obviously, there's going to be people that come into it and out of it as a season in their lives. But I think it's definitely something here to stay, especially with the connectivity we have now with the internet and the introduction of programs like Starlink, where you can get internet anywhere. You could literally work a full-time corporate job from a van in the middle of a forest. It really opens up so many doors.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about. I think a lot of people are probably watching and thinking, wow, that could be a great adventure, but what do you do for money? How do you keep a job? I know, Alex, on your website, you and Frankie offer expertise consultations for $100, so you're able to make some money that way. How are people doing this and also making sure that they have the money to live?
Well, if you actually go through our podcast as well, you could hear all different types of examples of jobs on the road. There are traveling nurses. There are people who do content creation like ourselves. We work with sponsorships and brand deals while we're on the road, which makes it to where we could have a very affordable lifestyle and be able to put money in the bank as well.
But we know people who are teachers on the road. They do graphic design, any kind of job that you can do digitally. We know people who are accountants and website builders, and literally from A to Z, we see the gamut of jobs on the road. And like Frankie said before, the cost of living, once you're actually in the vehicle, I know you were just talking about how the prices of vehicles have skyrocketed. So once you're actually in the van, your life on the road is very inexpensive.
And so what would you two both say was the one thing you wish you'd known before you hit the road?
Well, one thing I wish I knew was the fact that life could be so inexpensive and not to be scared. There's a lot of people out here in the world that are actually super friendly, and we have been prone to finding those people. And we're so thankful for everybody who's helped us along our journey.
Yeah, and we're just glad that we made the leap when we did, because since we've gotten on the road, we've met so many amazing people. And I think there are so many resources out there now. When we first got on the road, it was hard to find, how-tos and guides about how to live the lifestyle. But now there's literally books A to Z on how to do it. So we're so glad that there's so much out there for anybody who's interested in the lifestyle.
Yeah, and you guys are leading the way. Alex and Frankie McCullough, thanks so much for joining us, and safe travels.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
us.